But when someone loses their job,
Yes.
why is it always a big deal in a relationship?
I think the first thing that happens is shock. So both people are shocked. The fact that something has happened to the income level, something has happened to the financial stability of the family.
Right.
And people react differently towards shock. One person is more likely probably to want to verbalize, the other person wants to withdraw and internalize the process. The conflict comes because these two people want to deal with it differently and somehow not able to find a middle ground and help one another through it. That becomes the greatest challenge.
Is it because that people hadn't agreed or they hadn't spoken about it? For instance, if you meet a partner right now and they're working, I don't think it ever hits you that umsana zapoteza hii job.
It's true.
If they're a business person, it never hits you that hii biashara inaweza isha leo because of maybe corona or elections or
That's
whatever. I
true.
mean, things do come up.
Yes.
But it doesn't necessarily hit us. That's a
Yes.
conversation people never have, is
That's
it?
true. That's true. And I think you can never really prepare enough for the hard times of life. They hit you. But now the way you will deal with it, the way you will come out depends on whether you have a foundation as a couple, probably a strong foundation of friendship. But even not, it doesn't mean that the relationship should come to an end. It might mean that this season, in as much as it tests you, it can actually make you come out stronger. You get?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's about where you have come from. Probably you were raised in a home where you never lacked, you never knew that hard times come. You really breezed through life.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's this, and you don't know how to deal.
What people call being raised with a silver spoon, I think that's what they call it.
Yes, yes. So there are situations like those. So probably you'll find one person within the couple unit never really went through the challenges of life. So they are shock absorbers and not so built as far as dealing with the tough times of life come.
Yeah.
But then now you usually find a balance. Maybe the other person went through a tough time somewhere along their lives, so probably the shock absorbers are a lot better. Now that is where the person with better shock absorbers, whether it's the man, whether it's the woman, will help the other person to come out.
Okay.
Now that's the place of us actually becoming stronger because I have helped you also to deal, and then we come out together.
Okay. Now there are two scenarios.
Yes.
Still on the financial instability of, loss of job or loss of biashara.
Yeah.
Two scenarios in this sense. A man can lose their job, or one partner can lose their job, and the relationship breaks down because amepoteza kazi, so apparently he or she is useless. And then there's the other scenario whereby you lose your job and then you start feeling inferior without even the other partner making you feel inferior.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of couples do face that, isn't it? Where the man, especially the man, where the man loses the job and then now anafeel ni kama si mwanaume anymore, yeye si baba wa hiyo nyumba anymore, na hata kidogo kidogo anaanza kuona ni kama sasa mama anamkalia, even if that's not the truth, isn't it?
I think actually what happens, let me tell you the truth.
Yeah.
There's something about having an income of your own. All of a sudden, that income goes. If you're not very careful, if you really don't know yourself, there's a season where your self-confidence tends to go. Because whether we like it or not, society deals with us on the basis of who you are. Now people will deal with you a lot better because they're seeing you on TV.
Okay.
You understand, eh? So then there's that initial thing of you defining yourself by what you are currently doing. That happens to all of us. And so all of us will go through that period, whether a man, whether a woman, your confidence will be shaken somewhere along the way. Of course, men take a greater hit because society has made us think that the man is the provider. So there's additional pressure on the man. But then having said that, whether it's the man or the woman who has lost the job, then it becomes a responsibility of the person, the other person who hasn't lost the job, to begin to encourage them and to make them feel, to make them know that it's still okay. You know what? I'm still here. I'll still support you. You will come out better. What you lost is not the end of the road. A better job is coming. More opportunities are coming. That's the kind of language that you need to speak to a person, because at that particular point in time, by the way, job loss feels like rejection.
Yes.
Even if it's retrenchment and someone else was left, you're thinking, why did they pick me and not the other person? So at that particular point in time, there's the emotional bit that even this person needs to deal with. Forget the finances, that you also need to take into account even as they come back home, to understand that, you know what, this person has taken a hit in the world.
Okay.
As they come back home, I need to be the one to speak encouragement to them, because they need to know that this needs to be the haven where they can be put together to go back and fight again.
All right. Let's take a look at our question of the day so that we can get you interacting with us bright and early. Mapema, have you ever gone through a dark season in life, and how did you overcome? Have you ever gone through a dark season in life, and how did you overcome it? K24 TV across all social media, and right there on your screen is our WhatsApp number. Kindly call us as well. All right. Do we have some feedback, Madam Director? Okay, sawa. So keep on, or rather, now that I've asked you the question, please let us know what you think.
Yes.
There's another scenario
Yes.
as well, still on this retrenchment or job loss or business loss manenos, where there's an ultimatum. Should there be an ultimatum? Because I think that is what also adds pressure. We've had many times on radio, you know, women calling in and saying, mimi siwezi kana mwanaume, nitapata tu 3 months, asipopata kazi, tunamalizana. Napata sijui mwaka moja, asipopata kazi, akwende huko. Napata 3 months. Kama si biashara, I mean, they put timelines, whether it's 3 months or 3 years. Should there be a timeline as to when someone needs to jumpstart themselves?
No, I guess not. And let me tell you, that's why it's important for us to have conversations like these ones, because we need to understand there's a reason why we are calling them seasons. Okay. Because it is a season. It could last 4 months, it could last 5 months, it could last 6 months. And let me tell you the truth, the longer it takes, the better the fruit is going to be. Because it doesn't mean that it's the end of the road. You're simply being processed to become something else that you probably cannot even see at this particular point in your life. But because we as a society have positioned people to think it's about you being busy, just busy around, running around, do something, Don't just sit there, do something. In fact, that is the line that they give us. So you're busy there running around doing something, you're buying smokies, trying to sell popcorns, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but if movie you are not cut out to sell smokies, guess what?
Imagine you won't
it
sell.
Won't work. Utakapo na smokies the whole day and they won't go because
madem ndio mnakwanga wabaya sana. Unaanza kulinganisha bwana wako na mtu mwingine. Umeona Babanjeri anamkanga subuta kama hakuna kitu anafanyanga, anangangaranga kuuza hizo njugu nasema. You know, and then you're being told sasa sisi wote kwa estate tutauza njugu.
Exactly.
Nani atanunua njugu za nani?
You see. So it's So it's important for us to begin to have these conversations so that now we begin to talk to people about following purpose. So that now, movie, I should be allow you to go through whatever season until you find yourself, until you find your purpose. At the end of the day, it will work for our good if we navigate this thing and come out on the other side. Like, can you imagine can nimekupatia hapa pressure? Mtumba, everyone is selling mtumbas. Can you try mtumbas?
Fikiria kitu. You know, and then that's the worst part when she or he tells you fikiria kitu, just look for something, and they're not even giving you an idea.
And let me tell you the pressure that comes. Immediately you lose a job. You don't think.
There's like a brain lock that checks in.
And it's just the season. That's just how it was cut out to be, because in that particular season, I believe it's a God season. It's a God season that now brings you into the place of hiding so that you are processed to come out better. But if you don't internalize it that way, my friend, you will run around doing all sorts of things that you are not meant to do. And sometimes it's in the stillness that God speaks to us.
True. Wow. Okay. So that is one scenario where, you know, finances come in the way, dark seasons, manenos, as we get your feedback. There are also other dark seasons people go through. For instance, an accident. I had a friend a couple of years ago. They were involved in a matatu accident. And it's a chick. She you know, got paralyzed from the waist down. So that means she couldn't walk and everything else involved from the waist down. And the boyfriend, after, I think, maybe 2 months, jamaa akajitoa. That is something that a lot of relationships are unable to handle, where you are used to this person being 100%, and now, for lack of a better word, let me even say they're 50%. You know, that is a very difficult period in anyone's life.
That's true.
So how do we deal with that kind of situation?
I think one thing that we need to understand is that when the dark seasons come, they don't only test you, they test the people around you. So you either pass the test as an individual, and the people around you either pass or fail the test. That means that even that boyfriend, he failed the test. And it's
Did
okay.
he really, though, can we say that he failed? He was just unable to deal.
No, he just failed the test. You see, the thing about it is dealing is never easy. You understand, eh? But the thing about it is your sense of commitment will be tested.
Okay.
In any relationship, in any marriage, even in a friendship. The thing about it is, are we able to navigate through the different seasons of life together, such that when I'm up, I know you're there.
Yeah.
When I'm down, I know you're there. When it's not quite making sense, I know that you're there. And those seasons don't just come to test you and build you up. They will also test and build up the friendships around you. So yes, people will either pass or fail the test. The thing about it is, no hard feelings. Just accept it and move on, you know. Like even in that particular, for that lady, it's okay, no hard feelings. The guy left, he probably couldn't be able to take this other, you know. But the truth is, she will evolve into a better version of herself.
Just hold on. We have Kagwema on the line.
Yes.
Kagwema, good morning.
Yes, I can hear you, Bubi.
Habari yako Kagwema?
Salama sana, sijui wewe.
Mimi niko salama kabisa kama unavyoniona.
Yeah.
Ehe, niambie, talk to me.
Congratulations, you have a wonderful discussion with that wonderful lady about navigating dark seasons. Eh?
Yes, indeed.
I want to start by saying that I have a lot of dark seasons in my life. Eh?
Oh, yes.
And especially from my late wife, when my wife was arriving, we had a lot of dark seasons.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm myself somebody who is self-employed. Eh?
Oh, yes.
And what I can tell men out there who are going through dark seasons is that have a positive self-talk. Eh?
All right.
You have a positive self-talk. Know that you don't have to be evaluated from without. Evaluate yourself from within.
Yes.
What we call internal evaluation, which is best. You know what you want, okay?
Yes.
Don't let people put a price tag on you. It is you who know what you are, what you want, okay?
True, true.
And again, find across confidence. Somebody whom you can share your heart with. Somebody who cannot go and broadcast your problems. But somebody you are sure you can share. Because this world, there is nobody to start with you when you are having dark seasons. Doesn't matter your wife, you call you honey, will call you whatever kind of name. But when dark time comes, it will not be well with you.
Okay.
And very unfortunate because women, and I'm sure that lady can comment,
Yes.
I don't know why they are not able to start with the men. When men are going through hard times, they are not able to start with them. But a man can start for life with a woman who doesn't have a job.
True.
He will crawl, he will feed that woman, and nobody will complain. But a woman cannot feed you for more than 2 months.
All right,
Okay?
Kagwema. Okay, Kagwema.
So self-esteem, positive self-esteem, self-image. Don't depend on what people are saying about you. Move on and believe in yourself. Self-believability.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kagwema. Of course, that is something we're definitely going to talk about here, especially when it comes to loss of a partner. Definitely something to look at. But as we continue with our conversation, I would like to remind you that we do have some by-elections happening in and around the country in regards to you know, the seats that fell vacant due to the people who are holding them having passed on. And as you can see there on your screen, I believe this is Matungu. Yes, Matungu, where they are currently electing their new or their next member of parliament. Unfortunately, he passed on a couple of weeks ago, and this is what is currently going on. As you can see there, we have IEBC officials, you know, taking in voters who have to be verified. We also have our very own camera and also journalists there trying to make sure that we get you the information as it happens. We are also going to be giving you live pictures from Nakuru, like we did earlier on, courtesy of Kigodho and John Wangombe, who are currently on standby. And there will be more coming during the daily brief. Shiko Kaitano, of course, will be briefing you more on the proceedings and the happenings as they happen. But Judy, getting back to our conversation, dark seasons, you were I was just telling you, or rather you were just expounding on the fact that people will get tested throughout the relationship.
Yes.
And I gave you this story of my friend who, you know, got disabled downstairs, and her partner, you know, for lack of a better word, alimuondokea tu. But I would, and you've said that he was tested and he failed the test. But I just want to probably ask you, because you see, when you have a partner, kuna zile expectations uko nazo. You have needs, emotional, physical, and when we come to the physical side of things, there's the sexual part where it needs to be fulfilled. And someone who's disabled from the waist down can't have sex. What are you going to do? Do you have a side chick or a side guy? What happens?
That's where I talked about commitment. You understand? Because those are the things, those are the conversations that we need to have, even to think about when we are thinking long-term relationships. Anything can go wrong, Buvi. We are thinking we'll have children. What if we have to wait for the children?
Okay.
Then what? Because now we need children. Do I have a side chick? Because, you understand? So those are the questions that we need to interrogate. Fine, yeah, right now you have a job. What happens if the opposition switch and I'm the one with the job? You understand? So those stereotypes will be tested, and we need. And I liked what the caller said, and he was talking about, as a man, define yourself for more than what is in your pocket. That probably is one of the things, stereotypes that we need to get out of our minds, even as ladies. You understand? Because sometimes you live in, probably you're telling someone, "Oh, I'm so happy that in this particular season I haven't had a job, but I have been provided for by my husband." And she could go like, "But that's his job." No.
Yeah. No, it's not his
job. No, it's not his job. No, it's not, movie. It is not his job. You understand?
Right. Okay.
Akiku provider, he has gone out of his way. Thank Jesus and thank him. So once we begin to move out of those stereotypes that have put us in certain roles, that then say, movie, you are the provider, does it mean then I sit? Not necessarily. But if the positions switch and you're able to perform that role and you perform it really well, then by all means I should come back and say, movie, thank you.
True. Getting back to disability.
Yes.
Kuna kichapia, where someone can, because of one reason or the other, they lose their mind.
Yes.
They probably, going through PTSD manenos, like victims of Dusit, victims of Westgate, where your partner is no longer the same. Probably they were even raped in the process of you guys being together, and now they are, intimately they have withdrawn. And this is the dark season for them, and this person might never get to, being that person that you needed 100% when it comes to that part of the relationship needs to be taken care of. Like, how do you, there are some things, zika pesa, unajua leo neza futwa kazi, kesho nichore job. But nikikuwa disabled leo, unless Jesus comes down and heals me himself, this is where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I mean, how would you advise such a couple? Seek counseling? Seek separation? Seek divorce? Because we are actually talking about people who are currently living through that nightmare.
You know what, movie? I think we spoiled this whole dynamic when we started saying poems as our marriage vows. Umekuja huko na tu vitu ulitoa kwa R&B. And then you wrote
ngoma za Beyonce, ngoma za Joe.
Beyonce, Joe, and then you're saying that now this is your marriage vow.
Yeah.
But if we go back to the original marriage vow, the way it was in sickness and in health.
For better, for poor.
Better, for worse.
Yes, richness
and in poverty.
Yes, that one, yes.
If you go back to those, and people now, and you think about them, the truth is, hata kwa hiyo harusi, but half of the time, you don't even think.
Say those words.
You don't think about the meaning of those
pastor amesema.
Juu pastor amesema na sasa tunangoja pilau in the afternoon, and people have to dance.
Yes.
But if you think about those words really, really seriously, then all these questions begin. Because then now we come to the level of understanding this thing is a commitment. I don't know how ahead is going to look. But I'm committed to it. I'll stay in it no matter what.
Wow. Hey, okay, I want to bring in another scenario. But as we do that, I promised you that we'll be giving you updates on what is happening as far as the by-elections that have been slated today are concerned. And if we can just have Nakuru on the screen just to see what is happening, Madam Director. Earlier on, we did show you what was happening in terms of the altercation between Mheshimiwa Nixon Korir of Lang'ata, I believe, and we had the Senator Kihika. We also had Senator Murkomen. They were in this particular field just a couple of minutes ago, and there was a lot of drama happening. And if I'm not wrong, I've just seen our reporter Kigodho Mwangi just setting up for Daily Brief. He'll definitely be giving you the updates as far as that is concerned. So do stick with us. We'll give you more information on what is happening in your area as it happens. So watu wa Nakuru, asante tena sana for watching us, by the way. Don't go too far. We'll definitely give you an update on your by-election. And we hope that you're going to keep the peace. So, another dark season that Kagwema has mentioned.
Yes.
I have another friend who lost her fiancé.
Yes.
Ni fiancé ma ni fiancé?
Fiancé.
Ni fi. Okay.
Nategemea ulienda shule wapi?
The point is, udem alilose mchumba wake.
Yes.
And they were very close and they were very much in love. And this lady nowadays has moved on and she's in another relationship.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the anniversary of her ex-boyfriend's death always haunts her. And on that particular day that she remembers the boyfriend's death, because the guy was a biker and he died on a bike, she loses her mind, literally, for lack of a better word. She can't get out of bed. She can't go to work. She can't even provide for her own self in terms of just, making lunch and just, she's completely disabled. And I commend the current boyfriend because huyu jamaa amekipitia pia in terms of kukuwa na demu yako akikumbuka chali yake mwenye alikufa. That's a dark season, isn't it?
Yes, that's true.
And people are unable to move, in such situations.
I think also as a society, we don't talk about healing. Hata ukienda church, we are just busy worshiping, club, you're just dancing, umefiliwa, people are just expecting, okay, fine, umemaliza kuzika, kama basi upewe moja. Umemaliza, you understand? Tupanguze machozi. But people now don't talk about the difficult part of healing and actually just intentionally going through it and coming out on the other side. So then what is happening, we are actually picking baggage from other people, from the past and all. But if someone probably takes time to really heal, then even that lady has a good chance of actually recovering from that situation and being able to give of herself wholly to her new relationship. Because this guy is not getting a good deal. That's the truth. Wow.
But this chick, what is she going through? Is she still grieving? Because it's been years. And when I say years, I mean like more than 5.
Yes, she could still be grieving. She hasn't dealt with it. And then again, as a society, can you say that you're going to a therapist and it looks like it's okay? Again, the cost of therapy sometimes is way too high that the normal person would be able to afford. But it's important for us to actually understand and appreciate the place of healing, the place of not just getting on with life. Because everyone is just, we are just busy. And he died. Okay, fine, let's move on to the next thing. No one has time for the next person. We are slowly becoming almost like an American society where people don't actually spend time with one another and talk about these things. And I think that was the beauty of, again, of our African community. We were able to go through things together. Yeah. And maybe that's what she needs. She needs to speak to someone, really speak to someone. And sometimes your partner can't necessarily be the person to help you through it.
Wow. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We'll take a short break. When we return, of course, go through some of your feedback. But as we do that, I believe there's something else happening, some action. Let's just have this on the screen. Again, this is Matungu, where the by-election is currently underway, electing the new member of parliament. So far, so good. No drama coming from that particular area. We understand that things have been going smoothly. The police are having everything under control, and everyone seems to be behaving so far. So we do pray that that happens throughout the election as far as today is concerned. And like I told you, Daily Brief will be taking over in the next couple of minutes. That is at exactly 11. So you'll get the full update. But as we do that, remember we're talking about going through dark seasons. How do you go through that dark season? Whether it's a financial dark season, whether you lost someone and you're trying to grieve through the relationship and your partner is wondering, huyu ni shida yake ni gani? We'll be having that conversation in a short while. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.